Hello and welcome to Shelby This Week. We're covering news from around Shelby Township and all over Macomb County. On the loose, what local police are doing to catch an armed robber who is striking several businesses in the area. And a new community center, how the township is getting you involved in the big changes coming to the senior center, library, district court, and cable station. There's a lot going on and we have a lot to tell you about, and it's all to come. But first, Philip Frame, a well-known public relations professional living here in Shelby Township, is facing serious child pornography charges. Earlier this month, he returned to court to hear of even more charges against him, and our own Charlie Cadato was there.
Yep, we're talking dozens of new charges. This criminal complaint reveals disturbing new allegations against a man who once held top PR positions in Metro Detroit. Last September, while acting on a tip, federal investigators raided Philip Frame's home on Scotland Boulevard near Mound and 26 Mile Road. Inside, police found DVDs and flash drives with graphic videos and images. They contain several videos of young boys between 13 and 15 years old engaged in sexual activities. They also found thousands of images. On one flash drive, agents discovered more than 10,000 pictures and videos of sexual activity involving minors. And get this, Frame told agents he had been downloading for years and he, quote, may have traded images by email. Inside 41A District Court, Frame was arraigned on 71 additional counts of child pornography under state law, but the federal case could land him behind bars for up to 20 years. It's important to note Frame is no stranger to this community. He's worked for Macomb County, for Cobo Hall. He was even a former journalist, so a lot of people know this guy.
And it was certainly a surprise for many of them. But Charlie, Frame was arrested back in January. Why did it take so long for them to do this arraignment?
Well, we're talking dozens of new charges. We're also talking about an entirely different federal case. These new allegations stem from the federal investigation, and Frame is currently out on bond, and according to his attorney, he's been in and out of the hospital 6 times since his arrest. He was wearing a leg brace in court. We tried talking to him outside, but his attorney was not interested. Can you at least tell us what you were in the hospital for?
No, he's not going to talk about that.
All right.
Okay?
Well, he was a PR guy, so,
Well,
questions.
And I'm an anti-PR guy.
You are?
You put me on the news tonight saying that if you want.
And Kelly, Frame will be back in court on March 31st. We'll definitely stay on top of this one.
All right, thanks, Charlie. The police need your help in catching a man accused of robbing 3 check cashing stores at gunpoint, including one in Shelby Township. Nick Buckler met up with police to find out what they're doing to catch this man.
Here at the Shelby Township Police Department, the top priority is to find an at-large armed robber. The man in the surveillance footage you are about to see robbed the Advance America Cash Advance on Van Dyke back on January 29th, as well as 2 other locations in Sterling Heights and Clinton Township.
This incident has been turned over to the FBI, Macomb County's Violent Crime and Gang Task Force. We're asking for public help to identify this individual. Rarely do we get this clear a video and this clear of an image. I truly believe that somebody out there knows who this individual is.
Police are considering this man to be armed and dangerous and are hoping if anyone should know anything about this man to call Shelby Township Police.
Sure can contact our Shelby Township Police Department, the Detective Bureau, that's 586-731-2121, and provide that information to the detectives. This is a dangerous person. He's considered armed and dangerous, and we'd like to bring this to a peaceful resolution. If we can identify this individual and bring him to justice without any further problems, that would be great.
In that surveillance footage, you can clearly see the man waving a gun at employees. He has threatened to use that gun should people not cooperate with him. Luckily, to this point, nobody has been hurt in these robberies. From the Shelby Township Police Department, Nick Buckler, Shelby This Week.
Crime Stoppers is offering a $1,000 reward for any tips leading to an arrest. If you know who this man is or have any information, you're asked to call police or the Crime Stoppers at 1-800-SPEAK-UP. Local authorities are sending out a warning about carbon monoxide poisoning and how it can be prevented after a family of 6 died in their Fenton Township home. The Caserano family and their 4 children, all under the age of 12, were found by a relative in their house after a power outage. Police say they hooked up a generator to a propane tank in the basement. Shelby's fire chief says the best place for generators is somewhere outside and talked about the dangers of carbon monoxide.
Carbon monoxide will build up slowly in whatever enclosed room or house or structure you're in, but you just won't know there's anything going on. You won't know there's a problem until it's too late. Like anytime there's a power outage and things like that, if you can drive through your neighborhood, you'll hear generators running. Some people have them in the garage, or the garage is just slightly cracked. Generators like that, I know people are worried about theft and things like that, but it needs to be outside.
You can also get carbon monoxide detectors at any home improvement store. Chief Swinkowski says the best place to put a detector is in your bedroom so that you'll wake up if there's a problem. The Shelby Township Fire Department is getting a new dispatch system that will save time and in the long run, save lives. Right now, those trained to handle 911 calls aren't medical professionals, so they don't know proper treatment and first aid to assist callers. But the new system they're getting will assist dispatchers in helping callers and updating responding crews all at the same time. Chief Swinkowski explained to us exactly how the new system will work.
As our dispatchers are dispatching us through our computer-aided dispatch program, they are going through this program, asking questions. Based on the answers, it will automatically give them a pop-up window that says, tell them to do this. So they can start rendering first aid over the phone as we're responding, and then it will give us immediate feedback, and we will get notes right in the laptops on our trucks to say the person is not breathing, CPR instructions are being delivered. And so as the dispatchers are telling them how to do CPR or how to help a choking victim or whatever the situation is, they are rendering first aid over the phone, and we are getting the notes on our computer screen. The whole idea is to provide help at the earliest possible minute. But in those crucial minutes that are going by from the time someone says hello in 911 until we get on the road and get there, they can be doing some first aid to help provide comfort, stop the bleeding, start CPR before we get there.
The chief said in the old days, dispatchers couldn't update responders until they got off the phone with callers. Shelby Fire has been researching new systems for over a year. The new one is costing about $40,000, but that money is coming from 911 fund and the department's operating budget. In a month, they'll start training on it, and crews hope the new system will be up and running in 60 days. By now, we've all heard about the tragic shooting rampage that took the lives of 6 people in Kalamazoo. And Nick Buckler is here to bring us up to speed on more details that have come out and how it's affecting people closer to home.
That's right, Kelly. Jason Dalton, the man accused of killing 6 random people over the weekend in Kalamazoo, was an Uber driver. And what happened is making people think before they get a ride from that service.
You're taking a live look at the picture now. This is right outside of the Sealy Kia of Kalamazoo dealership in the 3800 block of Stadium Drive. 2 people are confirmed dead at this location. A short time later, we received multiple phone calls about another shooting, this one at the Cracker Barrel in Oshtemo. This is on 9th Street. Here, 4 people are confirmed dead, another 2 listed in critical condition.
It was a hectic scene in Kalamazoo over the weekend as an at-large gunman was shooting random people on the streets and in their cars. Many people in the area were advised to stay indoors or on lockdown while the mayhem was unfolding.
We did leave the room. We went downstairs, kind of went outside, took a look around because we noticed that the Kia dealership where the murders were committed was only 3 doors down from us. You could see the sign from the front side of our hotel.
While these murders happened just outside of the campus of nearby Western Michigan University, students say the school never alerted them of the situation.
And that's the disappointing part, is we never got a text from our school. They'll give us alerts on things that happen on campus. For example, a week or 2 ago, there was a gas leak in a dorm, and they told us about that, yet they don't tell us when there's a shooter on the loose, which everyone is very upset about.
We have since learned that Jason Dalton was a driver for Uber, and when arraigned in court earlier this week, he showed no signs of sympathy or remorse.
I would prefer just to remain silent.
Uber is under a lot of heat nationally after the tragedies in Kalamazoo when it comes to background checks. However, Dalton passed his background check and had a feedback rating of 4.73 out of 5.
We're continuing to invest in learning about the best ways to work with law enforcement. And
As you probably know, if you're very familiar with our app, we do have the ability for a passenger to share their ride information in real time, including the GPS tracking information. So that is a technology that we can continue to build on in the future.
Locally, there are hundreds of Uber drivers. While riding with former Uber driver Chris Herman, we asked what it's like for drivers as opposed to riders.
I've been more comfortable getting into a car than driving on the other side of the spectrum. When you're signing up for Uber, you have to give them all your information, you know, your license, where you live, even your credit card information. So you wouldn't necessarily be kidnapping somebody if they have your information all there.
Which leaves us to wonder if this horrible occurrence will make people think twice before calling Uber to pick them up.
Yeah and no, because this could have happened anywhere, honestly. Could have happened with taxis and whatever other people get around. It was just kind of one of those incidents where it's one of those people. You just don't always know.
I don't think I would hesitate to use the Uber system. You run that risk with any company you may call.
So Nick, I've taken the Uber service here in the area a couple times, but a lot of people have always been more concerned about taking them in big cities. Are you concerned about taking an Uber here?
Not really at all, because I still think this is a very reliable company, and just because one person may have messed it up for everyone, I still think big cities are actually safer to take an Uber because there's so many people walking the streets, and you know, it's just, no, the answer is no. I could go on for a long time, but I really wouldn't think twice about using the service again.
Well, thank you so much, Nick.
Yeah.
For years, officials have considered plans to improve the Shelby Township Community Center or move it to a new location. Now an advisory board is considering the vacant Ewell Elementary as a possible location. Charlie Cadato has more on how the public is getting involved in the change.
The old Ewell Elementary School has been vacant since 2010. Utica Schools shut it down because of low enrollment, but now the old building could be home to the Shelby Township Community Center.
Ewell Elementary School, I think, is a great opportunity for us to use a vacant building instead of building something new.
For now, it's still an idea under review by the Community Center Advisory Board. The township wants to hear from residents first before making any decisions.
Most ideas don't come from local government. Most ideas, almost all good ideas, come from actually residents.
The plan would remodel and expand 41A District Court and keep it in the same location near 23 and Van Dyke. But the library, senior center, and Shelby TV would move here to the old school near 23 and Shelby.
It's definitely a workable plan. But until you get down to the specifics in dollars and cents and look at all the costs, it's pretty hard to make a conclusion at this point.
Diane Labadie, a regular at the senior center, welcomes this change. She says the nearby court has been a safety hazard.
We're able to see them bring in the prisoners when they do bring them in, especially on Tuesday when we're here in our craft room, we can see them bringing them in. And you know, it's just not a good thing to have to sit and watch.
So she's glad to see change coming. Talks to remodel a community center have been ongoing for 15 years.
We've been scratching our heads for a long time, but in the last couple of years, you're correct, it's been the #1 priority in Shelby Township to address the community needs.
But for now, Labadie doesn't want to get her hopes up. She says she's heard about this for too long, and the Ewell Elementary plan is still just an idea. Finances haven't been reviewed yet.
Well, in politics, nothing is real until it happens, you know, like they say, till the fat lady sings and, you know, whatever. So I'm hoping that it is. I'm hoping that all of us can be happy with the changes and that they fit our needs, especially being that I'm a senior and I work with the senior center.
For Shelby This Week, I'm Charlie Cadato.
Still ahead, start running now. There's a new 5K coming to Shelby Township, and this one has a unique twist. And a local leader is throwing his support behind Donald Trump for president. Find out who next.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
Our township police chief will be sticking around Shelby for a few more years, thanks to a newly signed contract extension. The board unanimously voted to extend his contract and give him a salary increase of $10,000. Chief Robert Chalide says he's grateful for the extension, but he's not resting just yet. He already has his eyes on future plans.
I'm very grateful to our board of having confidence in me and believing in me after my first 13 months to make this extension for me. I want to hear from everybody, and I've created a type of open door philosophy here where anyone can walk in here at any given time and discuss things with me, ask questions, and I'm big on the officers, like I said, their development, and constantly looking for training, way to build morale up.
Chief Chalide will stay with the community until at least 2021. It seems like there's always a police chase being shown in the news. Just recently, 2 people stole a U-Haul truck and took it on a violent chase throughout Macomb County, crashing into patrol cars, but luckily no one was hurt. Even here in Shelby Township, just last month, local officers chased a parolee through our streets who ended up crashing into another parked car. So we wanted to know, as Shelby Township residents, how concerned should we be about police chases in our community?
Around the area, they're very common. Thankfully, in Shelby Township, they're not very common at all. It's rare to have someone flee on us. We're in a very safe community, thank God, and most of our residents are law-abiding, and so around here in our community, they're rare.
The Detroit Free Press published a report of national statistics saying Michigan is one of the deadliest states when it comes to the number of people killed in pursuits. 2 deaths happen per month in chase scenarios in Michigan. But police policies, including here in Shelby Township, are set in place to make the decision to end one if it gets too dangerous. A local leader is throwing his support behind Donald Trump as the next president. Senator Jack Brandenburg is endorsing the candidate because he says Trump represents a fresh start in politics. Brandenburg, who is a businessman like Trump, says he agrees with his stance on ISIS and immigration. He also appreciates that Trump speaks his mind. The only flaw Brandenburg sees in the Donald is the haircut. We'll be sitting down with Senator Brandenburg in the coming month to talk more about his presidential endorsement and his views on immigration. He'll also give us an inside look at how lawmakers are putting plans in place to solve the Flint water crisis and the debt in Detroit public schools. It's all to come on the new edition of Lansing Update on Shelby TV. It's that time of year again. It's tax season. John Martin has insight on how to make your experience in filing your taxes a little less stressful.
At H&R Block in Shelby Township, it's a busy time of year, but tax advisor Rochelle Wood fit me into her schedule to ask what's new with taxes this year.
There are not a lot of changes this year. Again, the Affordable Care Act is at the front of the tax law this year, the tax changes. Previously, if you had your insurance through the marketplace, you received tax forms 1095A to do your tax return. This year, anybody who has health insurance coverage of any kind should be receiving a form, a 1095A, B, or C. If you have employer coverage, you should receive the 1095C. If you have Medicare, Medicaid, or a lower coverage, again, the 1095B. Some of these forms are required to file your tax return, some of them are not. If you have questions about the form you received, or if you need to have it to file your return, absolutely get a hold of a tax preparer like ourselves, and we'd be able to help you out with that.
I've noticed some changes here at H&R Block.
Yes, actually H&R Block Premium is now Block Advisors. We're branded a little differently because we handle more complex tax returns, personal tax returns that are more complex and involved, in addition to partnerships, corporations, estates, and trusts. We also provide year-round service, tax planning, and other services that you may not see at a regular tax office.
Does Block Advisors have any special programs going on now?
Starting today, Monday the 22nd, we're offering a 50% promotional time. If you had your tax return done somewhere else, not at H&R Block or at a Block Advisor's office last year, bring in your tax return from last year along with your receipt, and we'll give you 50% off of what you paid last year to have your tax return done to pay for you to return this year, a minimum of $100. So that way you'd have an opportunity to get to know us, see our services, and find out if we have something to offer you.
If you have any questions about your tax returns, please call Rochelle Wood of Block Advisors at 586-739-7336. For Shelby This Week, this has been John Martin reporting.
Thanks, John. Mark your calendars and put on your running shoes. The Run the Creek 5K Walk and Run is coming up in Shelby Township. And you'll be surprised because there's a special twist. At a press conference, officials announced it will be a night glow run. The path of Cherry Creek Golf Course will be lit up with glow sticks and lights, and it's really a one-of-a-kind event.
Shelby Township's always been about giving back to their community, about kids, about the quality of life, and for me, this is going to be something that will repeat itself if done right the first time. And so those that are listening to this, those that might have an interest in doing something on an evening with a family, this will be an incredible event to be at for the first time. But I have absolutely no question in my mind there is going to be a repeat, if you will, annual nature to this because of the uniqueness of it.
And officials were definitely having fun. County Executive Mark Hackle, race co-director Michael Ward, and Supervisor Rick Stathakis reenacted a mock relay race, passing the glow-in-the-dark baton. The 5K will be held on Saturday, April 16th, and all proceeds will benefit the Special Olympics of Michigan Area 14, which encompasses Macomb County. And Shelby TV will be there as well. It's the big 10th anniversary of Relay for Life in Shelby Township, and even though there's snow on the ground, the big race is already kicking off. This is footage from last year's event and the race last May. The craft vendor show and kickoff party will happen on February 27th at Steiny's Restaurant on Shelby Road. And then on March 4th, the San Marino Club in Troy will host the Celebrity Waiter event, which benefits Relay for Life teams. There will be a silent auction, live music, and much more. This all means Relay for Life is only 3 months away. The race benefiting the American Cancer Society will be on Saturday, May 21st of this year. If you'd like more information on the kickoff party, fundraisers, or the race itself, just head to our Shelby TV Facebook page. And still ahead, could it be B12? Find out how a local nurse is continuing her decade-long fight for your health. And after more than 25 years, a local high school jazz band won a top award. Find out more next.
Take my hand and start a brand new day.
Underneath everything we are all people. And when we reach out a hand to one, we can influence the condition of all. That's what it means to live united.
Through the help of the AARP volunteers, the Shelby Township Senior Center is offering free tax preparation. The free tax sessions will be held on Mondays between February 1st and April 11th at the Shelby Township Senior Center. Appointments must be made as no walk-ins will be seen. A copy of last year's tax return, Social Security cards, and valid photo IDs for everyone on the return is required. Income, expense, Social Security, and health documents are also recommended, so call ahead for more information. Dial 739-7540 for an appointment.
As many as 700 low-income Macomb County families could get help with their water bills. The Water Residential Assistant Program is being set up by the Great Lakes Water Authority. It will offer up to $1,000 of help on bills annually, as well as one-time water audits and money to fix minor plumbing issues. The program will be funded through surcharges on all water bills. To be eligible, residents must have income at or below the 150% of poverty level. To learn more, visit waynemetro.org/wrap. She's being called the Erin Brockovich of the medical industry. Sally Patchelak wrote a book more than a decade ago called Could It Be B12? An Epidemic of Misdiagnosis. And now it's a major movie making major waves. The movie is of Sally's real-life story of the emergency room nurse that fought for the awareness of B12 vitamin deficiency. She argued for improving testing and treatment of patients because oftentimes patients can be misdiagnosed with serious diseases.
B12 is a vitamin that you need not only for health, but you have to have it for life. Without it, you would die. I was trying to create a standard of care change to improve patient care. When patients have symptoms of B12 deficiency, I just wanted the patients to be tested. I want to show that this is happening in our own community. This is not just in medical journals, it's not isolated cases. So I had the idea, why not do a small sampling in our own hospital to show this is real. Within a 6-week period, out of like 50 patients that came in that I felt that were symptomatic, we had a good like 20% that were deficient. Yeah, my book is out there. We're making some waves, but not the way it should. Right. the disease is still not being handled properly. Why? We don't know.
Sally was just nominated by the Hospital Nurse Practice Council for a Nightingale Award for Nursing Excellence. And we have the entire interview for you to watch, including how she came to fight for B12 and the support she is receiving and who isn't backing her. And we'll also have information on where you can go to learn more about B12. Just head to our Shelby TV Facebook page. Instead of slaving over a hot stove, why not go out to dinner? The second annual Restaurant Week is coming up. You can visit participating restaurants in Sterling Heights, Utica, and Shelby Township for a delicious meal at a special price. Some of the Shelby businesses participating are Aubrey's Pizzeria and Grill, the newly opened Hardee's, vegetarian restaurant The Clean Plate, La Cucina del Vino, and La Dolce Vita. Restaurant Week is March 6th through the 12th. For more information, head to our Shelby TV Facebook page. They were hitting all the right notes, and now the Eisenhower High School Jazz Band is the winner of the Michigan Jazz Weekend Festival. At the 43rd annual event hosted at Central Michigan University, the band's rhythm section was named the best overall section in the AA class. They competed against 70 different bands from 20 other high schools, many of which are regarded throughout Michigan for their excellence in jazz. This is actually the first award the Eisenhower Jazz Ensemble has earned since it began attending the festival in the late 1980s. Congratulations to the band director and the students for the top honor. And that's it for us at Shelby this week. You can watch us all the time at shelbytv.org. And don't forget to like us on Facebook. Just search Shelby TV. Thanks for watching.